Hi there. This is the first of videos on multiplication of polynomials, and we're going to start with exponents, and then we're going to graduate to multiplying monomials times monomials. This is a really important section because if you get this, when you get this part, it will help you do all the other sections, because no matter how many terms you have and you're multiplying, it all breaks down in being able to multiply a monomial times a monomial. Now, I'm going to fess up. You're looking at the sheet going, that's already partly done. Well, I made a mistake in the video when I tried to do this one, and I really don't want to reprint this because it's just wasting trees because I only did the one question. So I'll catch you up on it. D to the fifth, this is an exponent, means d times d times d times d times d. So when you see an exponent, that means multiplication of that. So this is just shorthand for this. But this part, this, I'm going to write that this is a coefficient. And this is an exponent. An exponent means multiplication, and a coefficient means addition. So this part is d plus d plus d plus d. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep them straight. And you might be thinking, why is she teaching us this? This is so simple. You need to have that in your head. You need to have it in your heart. I would say tattoo it on your wrist, but that's not a good thing to do in school. But learn it, because you know what? If you understand how this stuff works, you don't really have to memorize all the rules. It just becomes obvious. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say you have this question and you're stressed out. You're trying to, I don't know, impress your new significant other with your math skills. Or even more exciting, you're trying to teach your kid because they didn't get it, they don't understand it, and your mind just goes blank. Well, r squared means r times r, and r to the fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know that much because you know what these mean. Exponents means multiply. So here's the first part that goes with there, and here's the last part. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's equal to r to the 7. Because the problem is students will look at this and go, dang, is that r7 or r10? And they can't remember because they're like, wow, what was the rule? No, you know what? If you write it out, it's clearly r7. And then you're done. And once you've done that, then it's like, oh, I just add my exponents. Well, when I do the next question, 7 plus 3 is 10. G10. Done. You write it out once, you remember the rule. It's all good. Now, A3 times A5 times A. What's the answer there? I hope, let's see, is it this one? Or that one? This one. Now, but 3 and 5 is 8. Yes. And there's a little understood 1 there. There is an understood exponent on every single variable of 1. Because otherwise, A3 times A5 would just be A8. And then you have this other one that doesn't make any sense. So it's A9. Okay, now let's look at this one. Do we need to write it out? I don't think so. Let's take a look though. See, we got 2 different variables here. G5 times g to the third is going to give me g to the 8, adding my exponents, and the w's. W3 plus 4 is 7. I realize now I left a whole bunch of space there for you to write them out, but you already got the rule. All right, so the general rule, when you multiply the coefficients, right? Big numbers out front, and you add your exponents. Now, this is the silly rule that I remember. I remember you never do the same thing to your exponents as you do to the coefficients. So if I'm going to multiply my numbers, there's no way I'm multiplying my exponents too. I'm going to be doing something different. And if I'm multiplying and getting bigger, to me, my brain says, oh, well, the exponents are just, it takes a little longer for them to do stuff, so they're going to add instead of multiply. So they're still going up, but not as fast. Cool. Now, let's take a look at this. They're not that hard. All right, so x to the third times x to the fifth. Well, we know the rule. All we do is we add our exponents. It's going to give me x8. Isn't that nice? Not easy to remember, but again, if you're having that brain fart the day of a test, well, did I just say brain fart? I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there, this part is the x to the third, and this part is x to the fifth. And if you count them up, that gives you x to the 8, but you don't need to write all that out. You can just add your exponents and you're done. So u3 and 6 and 2, 3 and 6 is 9, and 2 more is u to the 11. Oops, guess I got to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. U6. Got it? Okay, turn off the video. Maybe turn, yes. If you haven't done it all, turn off the video, do the questions, and then turn it back on. Make sure it's all good. Okay, this one's just messing with you. That's the answer. It's just you can drop the brackets there. Okay, I don't know. I was trying to make students freak out when they see this. They try and do all sorts of weird stuff. That's all. Done. Now we got 10 times a times a. There's 10. There's no other coefficients. So there's nothing else to do. A times a is a squared. Or you can think there's an understood 1 there. There's an understood 1 there. And when you add 1 and 1, you get 2. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. X to the fourth. So sometimes you only have to work with a coefficient, and then you bring the other stuff down. I'm going to do this 2 different ways. Following order of operations, right? So you've got multiply this times this times this. You multiply the first 2. 4 times 6 is 24. A squared b squared times minus 3. And then we go 24 times minus 3 is minus 72. A squared b squared. That's doing it absolutely perfect. But when all you're doing is multiplying this one times this one times this one, you can go 4 times 6 times, if you want, okay, I would normally just do times 3, but you know, if you want to use a negative 3 in there, minus 72. Okay, I just know if I multiply this times this times this, it's going to be a negative. I don't. All right, I'm going to fess up. I'm so old. When I started using calculators, they didn't have negative buttons, so I just don't use them. Don't tell the boss. All right, negative 6 times negative 12 minus 72 k to the fourth. Remember, understood 1 there. Okay. Oh, look at this one. There's no coefficients. Okay. So alphabetically, F should come first. So F3, G5. Oh, there's a G1 there. So it's going to be G6. And then H, 12, and 2 more is 14. That's okay. That happens. Oh, I'm going to be lazy. 9 times 8 times 3 is 216. And I know it's negative because there's a negative up there. And then we have X, 7 and 5 is 12, and 4 more is 16. There we go. All right, so 6 times 5 times 10. We can only do this, by the way, because this is all these are all monomials. And you can do them all at once. If, by the way, it was 6 times, let's say, 5x plus 10x squared, That's a completely different question. Then you would need to do distributing, but that's also the next worksheet. So it's not. We can do it all at once. If that's confusing, then just follow order of operation. 6 times 5 is 30 times 10, so it's going to be 300 x to the third. Last one, negative times a negative times a negative. Okay, so it's negative. 3 times 4 is 12 times 5 is going to be 60 y. There's a 1 there, and plus 2 is 3, and 3 more is 6. Now, make sure I'm okay. Oh, can't see it then. Minus 3 times minus 4 times minus 5 is minus 60. So I'm good. Now, why do I use my head and not my calculator all the time? Because it's faster. If you practice enough, it becomes faster. You might run into time constraints if you're doing a test or something and you have to multiply every single bit through by hand. Learning multiplication tables. There's the best math tip you're going to get for today. And that's the end of our video. Thank you.